keep the team on focus there throughout this unique situation?
Because there's still work to be done. I mean, we still, there's games we play, be work to be done. We got to continue to get better. And you can't really, get your mind into the grasp of how many days you've been on the road or whatever the case may be. Every team does it. Every team hits a long road trip. And professionals, we got to keep our minds fresh, keep our bodies fresh as much as we can to go out there and put together a complete 48-minute game, or as close to 48 minutes. So obviously we haven't done it the last couple of games, and we just got to be better on Saturday.
Just basketball-wise, did you notice anything about that second half, the biggest thing that stood out?
I think Detroit played extremely well tonight, and then we didn't play well. We didn't play well at all. Our legs got to us a little bit on the second night of a back-to-back. That was a result of it.
Dan?
Hey, LeBron. You mentioned the legs. I mean, you got off to such a hot start in this game. Is that kind of what you think turned for you tonight?
No, I don't think so. I think early on I got it going. And then I still, at the end of the day, still got to get my teammates involved. Even with my scoring early, we didn't have many, assists and things of that nature. So I want to try to implement my guys, get my guys involved in the game. And I definitely missed some shots that I know I'm accustomed to making, but it had nothing to do with my legs.
Hey, Frank has talked a couple times about the depth of his team and how tricky it is to kind of find minutes for everybody who deserves them, and how it can kind of force some maybe non-conventional lineups. How much do you feel that? How much do you feel that you personally are still adjusting to some of the different groups out there, and where would you kind of like to be soon in that development?
I'm definitely, and we're definitely all adjusting to playing with different lineups, and logging minutes with lineups that, one game you might not log with, or could be a few games in a row. So, it's kind of learning on the fly, and I think we're all learning on the fly because of the lack of practice time. With this season, it's very difficult to kind of, get those practice minutes on the floor and know what works and what does not work. Just very strange with that. A lot of our games are also just like, big practices for us too. We have to learn on the fly, and coach is still learning different lineups and seeing what combinations work, what combinations don't work. And myself, I'm out there playing with certain lineups I don't play with, certain lineups I do play with. So I log a lot of minutes with, guys that, may not have logged with, in a couple games. But like I said, it's all a learning experience, and all of us trying to figure it out.
Dave?
Ron, how do you get comfortable and stay patient with that challenge or that circumstance of needing the games to be the practices because the reality of the schedule doesn't allow for actual practices?
I'll let you know.
Dan, I think you have a follow-up.
Yeah, LeBron, you guys have Boston on Saturday, and that's kind of one of those rivalries in sports that transcends even the country. I guess, what's it like to be a part of something so big like Lakers Celtics?
It's pretty cool. Just knowing the history, Lakers Celtics across, throughout the course of, this league, and what it means to this league, the history of this league. And just seeing some of the biggest games, some of the biggest rivalries, some of the best players that ever played this game to be a part of this rivalry was a pretty cool thing, just learning the history. It's not like I didn't personally grow up watching them. Obviously I was, a little bit too young in the 80s, and then they had, rekindled a little bit in the late 2000s when, Kobe and them guys were going against KG and those guys. But, it's pretty cool. And right now it's different. Without the Boston fans and without the Laker faithful, it's not the same. It won't feel the same on Saturday. It's going to feel great to play another game and play against a very good team, but it won't have that rivalry feel. Just, the fans are so much a part of that rivalry, if you could just imagine, and just go back and watch those games, how key the fans were in all the battles over the course of the years.
All right, we'll wrap with Rachel.
Ron, when is it in the cycle of games and off days and stuff in a road trip that you feel the most tired? Because we talked a lot about how short the off season was, how much energy it was going to take, and you get to the beginning of the season and there's kind of a burst of we're starting, but you're on a long road trip like this. When is it that you feel it? Is it right after games? Is it on the off days?
I don't get tired. I don't feel tired. I get my sleep, I get my rest. But I have a lot of energy. I don't get tired, and I don't even. My mindset never gets to a point where it's like, okay, this is a long road trip. I'm exhausted. Or I'm tired. I don't even think about that. When we have our games, I'm ready to go. When we're not playing, I have an opportunity to rest and get my body back right, get my mind refreshed. But I don't get tired.
What are you doing on this road trip since you can't go out to dinner and maybe hang with guys the way you normally would? What are you doing to keep yourself occupied?
Watching a couple shows on Netflix and on Showtime, and drinking some wine. It's perfect.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
And just seemed like you ran out of gas. What stood out to you?
Yeah, I don't know if we ran out of gas. I mean, we just didn't have a great rhythm that second half in any way. We'll go back and look at the tape and see where we went wrong. We didn't have as much of a defensive disposition, and that forced us to not get out in the open court, and playing without Anthony. We're just looking to find a rhythm with combinations that are not used to being out there, and we just didn't find it. We've been pretty good on the road, but tonight was definitely not our night.
Are there certain things that you're looking for aside from LeBron initiating on offense that either didn't come tonight and that you think still need to come along, especially if AD's out?
No, for sure. We have plenty of firepower to win this basketball game tonight. I got to do a better job putting guys in the right spots to be successful and to use our depth. But we just didn't get going in that second half.
Bill?
Hey, Frank, you go back 24 hours and you guys had this, great spirited fourth quarter in a close game where you were able to really summon something late. How do you account for the same team 24 hours later, not being able to kind of draw on the same thing?
That's the NBA. I mean, that happens. We were different tonight than last night, obviously with the guys we had in there. But one night's different than the next, and there's different energy in every game. I thought we started the game with good energy, but down the stretch we just lost with it.
Dave?
Frank, you thought your team would be a little edgy, a little angry about what occurred in Philadelphia. How do you respond to this one? You set out to not lose two.
Yeah, when you have nights like this in a long season, we'll be fine. We'll bounce back. Not happy. None of us are happy with how we played tonight, but we'll bounce back.
Dan?
Frank, you talked a lot about how you guys are going to get everybody's best shot a lot of times this season. Did you see that from Detroit? It seemed like they were really physically invested in the game, talking a lot and stuff like that. Did you feel like they were at a different intensity level maybe than you guys were?
I thought our intensity, I don't think it was an intensity thing. I think it was more of an execution thing, and then, like I said, the second half when the shot's not falling, you don't have a rhythm in your offense. Your focus wanes, and, you do credit Detroit. Detroit played a good basketball game, but certainly this is a game we should win.
Last question, Kyle.
Frank, you guys had a pretty good record, in games where AD didn't play or LeBron didn't play last year. I'm thinking of an OKC game where Kuz and Rondo